Hello and welcome to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name's Caleb.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this week we talk about a Walt Disney World hotel deal,
Controversial updates to Madame Leota's,
and our thoughts on Disney's live-action remakes. Let's dive in. All right, and this is episode number 160.
Welcome back, as always, everybody.
Welcome back. I wish I had $160, if you know what I mean. Because I don't.
guess. I don't know what to say.
I don't know. It just sounds like a big number, and that'd be awesome.
I wish I had 160 donuts.
Me too.
Or cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
Right?
I'd take the money, though. I can buy a lot of cinnamon rolls.
Honestly, I think I would take the cinnamon rolls.
160 cinnamon rolls at $5 a pop. That's actually pretty good. Welcome to another episode of Market House. We're just hanging out here. It's been a successful week. Happy New Year's to everybody.
Yes.
That has come and gone. You may have seen it on Instagram, but we had a pretty chill night. We went and got some pizza with family and then came home, did the East Coast countdown with Maddie.
Which was so fun.
Yes, if you're new to the show, we have a 1-year-old, and so she's clearly not going to stay up till midnight over here. And so did the East Coast countdown. Actually, I think we should do that even when we don't have a young child.
Yeah.
Because that was really nice.
Yeah.
You get it out of the way, you do the countdown, woohoo, she goes to bed, and then we stayed up and watched a movie.
Mm-hmm.
We still stayed up till midnight.
Yeah. We feel like you have to.
But we did something else to fill the time, which was fun. So
we watched Wicked for the first time, which was awesome.
So it came out for rent and purchase. We bought it on our Apple TV thing, and we've already watched it a few times, not all the way through, but skipped to certain songs we loved. And
right.
It was a really good movie.
I loved it.
Totally met the hype.
I liked it way more than I originally thought I would.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because right when it first came out, I was like, I literally remember telling you, I don't think this is going to do very well.
Whoa.
And then when it came out, everyone's like, this is amazing. And I'm like, okay, we have to see it.
Yeah, they spent like $1 trillion on marketing. So they were all in on this thing, and they did a good
everyone
job.
did such a great job.
So loved it. Other than that, we've been watching actually a lot of movies. We've watched, what did we watch? Oh, a Disney Plus movie. Let's
Out of
talk.
My Mind.
Out of My Mind.
So incredibly good.
Very, very good. So if you have a spare hour and a half or so, watch Out of My Mind. It is a great movie for both kids and adults.
Yes.
And hey, little Sac Love in there. They're in Sacramento in one of the scenes.
Yeah.
So cool. I don't want to give anything away, but they're in Sacramento.
It's such a great movie. It's all about a family who has a daughter with cerebral palsy and kind of what her life looks like and just kind of their day to day. And it is such there are times where you literally want to cry. There's times where you just want to yell on the screen. There's times you just want to clap. You're so happy. Speaking for myself. It is so, so good.
A roller coaster of emotions, as you can see. So yeah, that's been a great time watching flicks at night when Maddie goes to sleep, and Out of My Mind made that list. It was amazing. And there we go. That's been our week. Hopefully you're doing well at home. Before we dive into today's episode, let's go through the usual reminders. We have a Patreon, markethousepodcast.com/support. If you want to go support the show that way, that would be amazing. Huge shout out to all of our supporters over there. It means the world that you choose to support our show every single month, and it does help a ton. So go check out Patreon if you want some exclusive content. It's also linked in the episode description. Also, please consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Both are a huge, huge help to the show. On Spotify, you can leave a 5-star rating, and on Apple, you can do a rating and a written review. If you have a spare few minutes, we'll read it on the show. We'll give you a huge shout out and a thank you because it means the world to us.
Yes.
All right, let's dive into the show.
Let's do it.
All right, for our first news story, we're heading over to the East Coast. You Walt Disney World pass holders, number one, you're lucky to have a pass. Number two, you're lucky because they announced an amazing hotel deal this summer, up to 40% off during the summertime. Now, if you'd ask me, do you want to spend time in Orlando in the summer? I would tell you no. But if I was getting 40% off a hotel stay at the Disney World Resort, I'd be a little more excited to do so.
It's a pretty good time to go if you have the little ones. They're out of school.
Yeah, but it's also 100 degrees and 100% humidity.
It is, but if you are willing to travel during the summertime, definitely take advantage of this deal because this is pretty good.
It's pretty good, but again, I don't know how many people that live outside of Florida have passes to Walt Disney World. I don't know, but if you have passes and you want to visit, do it because this deal is good between the months of May and July, and the discounts are based on when you go and where you're staying. The heaviest discounts, that 40% off that you're seeing everywhere is for deluxe resorts June 1st through July 31st. So that is the, right in the center of summer. It's the hottest. It's the time that you really don't want to go. That's why they're doing these deals. But again, 40% off. That would convince me otherwise to probably make my trip.
Right.
Yeah. The discounts differ. So you can go as low as I think like 25% or something for value resorts in May, and so forth. So like it goes from 25, 30, 35, 40% for these deals. So check out Disney or a travel agent or whatever to check out these deals. You can use our getaway today. I think you can head over there if you want our link and check out prices because it's a good time to start planning your 2025 travel. My plan is to now become a Walt Disney World pass holder.
Okay.
Well, hear me out.
Okay.
Because I'm going to save money at the hotel. So
Okay.
the math works. If I spend $3,000 or $4,000 on passes to save $1,000,
honestly,
it doesn't work.
If
but
Disney World wasn't so far away from us, I'm pretty sure that we'd be pass holders. We love Disney World, but it's so far. Even without having Maddie, the flight is just
across country is pretty rough. On top of, again, we're not huge fans of humidity, and when it's humid like 80% of the year, kind of reduces the amount of time I want to get out there.
Yeah.
But hey, get out there to save some money. All right, our next news story, we're headed over to the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland. So if you aren't living under a rock, you have heard about Madame Leota's. This is the new gift shop that was built right next to the Haunted Mansion. A lot of controversy. Lots. The biggest being, not what it looks like and all that good stuff. People are complaining. We haven't been, so I don't want to pass judgment yet.
Right.
We're going in a week or so. But people don't like the look of it. They don't like the size of it. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
So I
it's
guess
kind of
we'll
hard
see
to
it.
tell from pictures from what we've
Really
seen,
hard to tell. So I need to see like in person for scale and what it looks like. But this I can kind of get behind. There was a piece of art in this gift shop as a decoration. Okay. Follow me here. Usually Disney has amazing artwork up there, usually done by a Disney, I'm sure, animator or illustrator or something, and it fits in theme wise and all this good stuff. People noticed that this thing was so weird looking and it looked like it was AI generated. Okay. So if you go on and there's Dolly, there's a ton of AI image generators. Imagine just putting in like Madame Leota, Haunted Mansion, scary night scene. This is exactly what it would spit out. So it looked like it. People were correct because they found it on Redbubble, which is, so if you go on, you could like put up your own design and print off, a $20 t-shirt is what Redbubble is, right? You can make a mug out of it,
There's
whatever.
like stickers and stuff too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So it's kind of a consumer design website deal. So kind of funny that Disney just grabbed this off of Redbubble and it was an AI generated.
Is that confirmed that they just took it off that?
That's what I'm seeing on the interwebs.
No way.
So ripped it off of some website, printed it off and, made it look like a printed canvas thing. People call it out, bunch of internet, people complaining on the internet, and they've since taken it down. So now it's just a big blank wall. And people are like, we won because we had them take it down. I just think it's funny that Disney was a little lazy on the design and decorations. And it is rumored, that they've decorated the shop, if I can spit it out, the shop with like stuff off of Amazon and stuff. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know. This whole thing doesn't really sound like Disney. They don't ever pull stuff off websites like that.
I don't know. I don't know if it was in a hurry, if they needed to fill the walls or something. Maybe it was behind schedule and they just said, you know what, a placeholder for now.
Well, if that's true, someone's definitely in trouble because I doubt they would approve that.
Yeah, someone might have gotten to talking to. So very interesting, but I thought it was worth mentioning because I've seen it all over Instagram and online that this painting has been removed and no longer has AI had its stamp on Madame Leota's. And for our final news story, we are staying over on the West Coast. Disneyland's Downtown Disney has just opened up a new eating area. So this is the Parkside Market that we've all been waiting for. It consists of 4 restaurants, and it just soft opened a couple days ago.
I'm super excited for this one.
Yes, so has 4 restaurants. Let's talk about them right now. Sip and Sonder, Gigi's Chicken Shop, Seoul Sister, like Seoul, South Korea, and Vista Parkside Bar. So they've released the menus and the pricing, all that good stuff, because of course you can walk in certain hours. I think it's very limited. And they're, getting everything ready for everybody and testing it out. So let's go over some of the options down there. I'm not going to do Sip and Sonder only because it's just a bunch of drinks.
Okay, well, can I mention one thing about Sip and Sonder?
Sorry, go ahead.
So I did go through, and as Keela mentioned, there are drinks, but there is one tasty treat that I wanted to tell you all about. They have cinnamon rolls, and they have different types of cinnamon rolls. They have plain, blueberry brown sugar, and cookies and cream.
That sounds very good.
Right? And it's only $7. I feel like that's pretty good for like Disney pricing though.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, not terrible.
Now, again, I have no idea how big these are, but they sound delicious.
They sound good.
So-
Let's move on to Gigi's Chicken Shop. This is caused some controversy online. These are $18 fried chicken sandwiches. It does not come with a side. This is just for the sandwich. $18.
Whoa.
Yes. So there's original fried chicken, sweet and spicy fried chicken, ranch fried chicken, or grilled chicken options. If you head down, they've got some salads, boring, and then they've got sides, which you have to add an additional $8 for waffle fries. For Brussels sprouts, is $7. Broccoli slaw, $7. So this is expensive. You're looking at like $25, $26 a person, and that's just for your food. If you had a drink and stuff, you're looking at $30.
Well, hopefully it's good though.
I would hope.
Yeah.
For that kind of money. Next up, you've got Soul Sister. It's his Korean rice bowls. This looks delicious. You've got beef and egg bowl for $19, a beef bowl for $18, chicken $18, pork belly $20, and then tofu for $16. So not terrible there. Feels like a little better value.
The Korean chicken salad looks really good. Garlic chicken, carrots, cucumber, green onions, sesame oil, greens, and spicy gochujang sauce.
Okay.
Sounds delicious.
That sounds very good. So check this place out. And then finally, you've got the Vista Parkside Market. This is that rooftop bar, I believe. Looks fun. I think this is standard Disney bar pricing, $18-ish per, what do you call it, drink? And then you've got a very expensive option, the Mountain Climb. It's $70, and this is a
Whoa.
bourbon flight. That better be some good bourbon.
Oh my goodness.
I don't drink bourbon, so I don't know how much it is.
Yeah.
But $70 sounds expensive.
I mean, for a flight, I guess that'd be
$70.
Right?
I
I don't know. When one drinks is $18.
That's
though,
true. That's true.
I don't know. I'm not buying it. I'm not over here telling you to do it.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm
but-
going to stick to the water, please.
Yeah.
Water with lemon. But yeah, this is what is happening over at Parkside Market. Go check it out. It looks good. Again, it's soft open. I don't know when the official opening date is, when it'll be available all day, but looks like some decent options. Save up your pennies because it's expensive, but 4 new food options in downtown Disney. All right, and that brings us to our main segment of this week's episode, and that is Disney live action remakes, hit or miss.
Dun, dun, dun.
Kind of a fun game, I guess we can call it. We're just going to share our thoughts. Let's go through the classic kind of Disney thing right now, which is retelling a story they've already told. So they're going back, as you are well aware, and taking their animated classics and remaking them as a live action version. So with real actors for the most part, and I mean, movies now are like 80% CGI with 20% acting, I feel like, but
Right.
that's pretty much what it is. So
Mhm.
they're taking Disney classic and then remaking them. God knows why, but they're doing it. So
and usually people aren't very excited about this.
no, not usually. A lot of controversy usually around a movie because of XYZ. These were made at a different time, so they're having to kind of like, change them to make them more of the times of today, 2025. And then there's, who they cast as that and what they're talking about. So there's always controversy. I don't know why they continue to, I do know why. I've answered my own question. They continue to make a ton of money. So we all complain at home, all these Disney fans, which I feel like are the loud minority, because we all are like shaking our fists at the sky like, Disney, stop making these, they're terrible. And then they still make $1 billion at the box office.
Right.
So I guess Disney at the end of the day is the winner here, and we're
Yeah.
just complaining just to complain.
Something.
But I'm guilty of it too. I don't know why they're doing it, but it's making money. And so as long as they keep making money, they'll keep doing it. So we're going to go through the list here of the live action remakes. Now, specifically the live action remake, not the ones that are, let me think here, live action, but not a remake.
So, for example, like Cruella.
Yes, Cruella was a prequel, a brand
Mhm.
new story to 101 Dalmatians. So not a direct remake.
Right.
The Maleficent, same deal. Jungle Cruise, those are all just live action movies, but aren't based on old stories.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes
Okay.
sense.
We haven't seen all of them, so we're going to go through and let you know the ones we have seen and our thoughts. And then for the ones we haven't seen, we thought it'd be fun to share the Rotten Tomato score and like the user score or the viewer, whatever it's called.
Yeah, audience score.
Audience score, thank you. And maybe just compare, talk about if we maybe agree what we've heard, because we've definitely talked about all these with people that have seen them, just haven't seen a few ourselves.
Right.
Okay, so let's go through the list. This will all make sense as we go through it. I'm confusing myself when I talk about it. So let's start off with, okay, this surprised me. The first Disney remake, live action remake, was Alice in Wonderland back in 2010. I thought it was Cinderella.
That's what I thought as well.
My mind always goes to Cinderella as the first one,
Mhm.
but back in 2010, they made Alice in Wonderland with Tim Burton.
Yes.
Which is weird.
This one, yeah,
This one's
definitely
weird.
not my favorite.
Yeah, so I think the internet agrees. It got a 51% tomato meter, which I believe is the critics. And then who listens to critics anymore, honestly? Let's just do the audience score. I don't care about the
I mean,
critics.
I like looking at both. I kind of take a range. If
Okay.
like one's really bad and one's really good, I'll kind of just go, let's
Sure.
meet in the middle.
Let's talk about it. Okay, and then the audience score is 55%. That's pretty bad.
It was just so bizarre and kind of over the top of my head. I just some scenes I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here. Like, we all know Tim Burton is Tim Burton.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like he's guilty of being weird to be weird's sake.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan, honestly, of his movies.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, a perfect example of it. It's okay. Like, if it's on, I'll maybe watch it, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out of my way
Right.
to watch it. Johnny Depp is in this. He plays the Mad Hatter.
Mhm.
That was kind of fun.
Mhm.
I don't remember the actress. She kind of disappeared.
I don't remember
who
the
plays
actress either.
Alice. Yeah. And then we're not going to talk about this because it's not a direct remake, but Through the Looking Glass.
That was the next one.
You
yeah.
went and saw that in
Yeah.
theaters. I didn't.
Didn't like it either. It just Tim Burton's not my favorite.
Yeah.
So
Tim, keep doing what you're doing.
nothing wrong. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah, he does well for himself, so good for you. All right, let's move on to Cinderella, which released in 2015. This is, in my mind, the kickoff of the remake era.
Yes. So this had Lily James in it. And then who was the guy? The prince? He's from Game of Thrones.
He is from Game of Thrones. Madden. Richard Madden? Is that his name?
I have no idea.
I think his last name's Madden. But
I feel like I'm one of the few who I loved this movie. Like, absolutely loved it. I remember I went out and bought it on Blu-ray, or I think you bought it for me. And the quote, "Have courage and be kind," that was literally like my quote for like still to this day. Like, it's literally, I love Lily James. I love what they did with the movie. Like, it's one of those where I'm like, when people are like, I didn't like it, I don't understand why.
yeah, this one was good. I
Yeah.
didn't have any complaints on it.
Yeah.
Love the actors that were in it. And it's just a good, I think they were faithful enough to it.
Mm-hmm.
Who plays the stepmother? Her name is eluding me, but she's a big actress.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
She's in Saving Mr. Banks, right?
People are gonna no.
Is that the lady?
No,
No, I'm thinking of the wrong person.
no.
Oh, goodness
That's
me.
Emma
No.
Thomas.
That's
We're
who I was
thinking
thinking
of,
of.
yeah. I don't know. Her name's escaping me right now.
Yeah.
She's very good. So yes, very good cast, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think they were faithful enough to it and took their own. Helena Bonham Carter was the
Yes.
the
Fairy godmother.
Fairy godmother. Fun fact: she was married to Tim Burton at one point.
Yes.
That was a long time ago.
Mhm.
But anyways, this is a good one. Again, I believe most folks would agree because the tomato meter 83% and the audience score 78%.
Not too bad.
Pretty good rating.
Mhm.
All right, let's move on to The Jungle Book. So again, you can argue that 99% of it was CGI, but in Disney's eyes, they're calling it live action remake because Mowgli was played by a human boy,
Yeah.
a real boy.
I feel like they did really well with this one.
This one
Mhm.
was amazing. I don't know why I haven't watched it more often because I loved it.
Yeah.
I walked away loving it. Christopher Walken was King Louis.
I think so, yeah.
You've got, I think Bill Murray was Baloo.
Have we only seen it once?
I think once in theaters. That was it.
Yeah.
And then Mowgli was by again. I don't know what the kid's name was, but he was amazing in it. And again, imagine a boy who hasn't probably acted a ton because
Right.
he's so young, acting against CGI characters. So at the most, he was getting either a
Mhm.
puppet on set or some guy in a green suit.
Right.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
So this kid did a very good job. I think it was done very well. I'm forgetting who directed it. I almost want to say it was Jon Favreau.
I literally have no clue.
Because I know he did the Lion King remake,
Mhm.
which we'll talk about that in a little bit. I want to say, and I may be way wrong on this, so don't quote me.
I don't feel like that's true.
No? Okay. Maybe I'm totally pulling this out.
I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
I'll let you know at the end.
We liked this. At the end of the
Yes.
day, it was very good.
Very, very good.
Very, very, very good. I would argue one of the better remakes.
I would agree.
Top 3.
Mhm. And it looks like the scores definitely say the same thing we do.
Yes, 94% tomato. So the critics love this one. And then 86% audience score. That is close to the best. That's a top 4-ish rating there. So,
Which immediately my mind goes to, that was that much higher than Cinderella.
yeah.
Cinderella had 83%
Sorry,
to
Caitlin.
94. I mean, hey, it was great.
It was great. All right, let's move on to Beauty and the Beast. This one was a little, I would say, not controversial, divisive, I think. I think you loved it or you hated it. We were in the loved it category. This came out in 2017 with, what's her
You're
name?
forgetting?
It's Hermione. What's her name?
What?
Emily?
It's
Emma.
not Emily. It's
Emma
Emma Watson.
Watson. Gosh dang it.
I thought you were going to say Emma Stone for a second.
No, I love Emma Stone.
And then the guy from, oh my goodness.
Dan Stevens.
Yes.
Yes.
He's in, I almost said Bridgerton. No, he's in Downton Abbey.
Yeah, the cleaner Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Downton Abbey. We love Dan Stevens. I love Emma Watson as Hermione herself. Come on. How can you not? So we liked it a lot. I know she didn't have the greatest singing voice, which they auto-tuned the junk out of it in the movie. That's okay. I think it sounded, it was passable. I think it was decent. I'm usually the first one to like call out like, oh my gosh, like they, it just sounds robotic and stuff.
Yeah, but I also want to go, you don't like Beauty and the Beast just for the singing. Like, I love it because of the story. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of Beauty and the Beast.
It's very good. Luke Evans plays Gaston. He was amazing in it.
So good. And you cannot forget LeFou.
LeFou.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I'm really bad at
Josh
it.
Gad.
Josh Gad, our best friend.
So good. The Gaston song in that movie is literally one of my favorites.
It's very good. That one, again, they had Alan Menken come back. He was the original composer for that film. And so he came back to write, I think Evermore is an original they wrote for it. And then they wrote, Caitlin's not a fan, and then they rewrote the Gaston one and added a couple little bits to it.
Yeah, different tune. But I would say overall, I think where that movie went kind of weird with some people is towards the middle end because it kind of went off the normal story.
Yeah.
And did kind of like what happened with Belle's mom. And I think that's where everyone's like, no, just stick to like
It lost me
which
a little bit.
I get it. But overall, I think it was great. The tomato meter scores were a little lower for this one. It received a 71% and then an 88% for audience score.
Yeah, so that's decent. Again, 80% is pretty good for these movies because you're going to see that progressively go down as we talk more.
Right.
I don't know, there's some blips here. Let's go next to, this one was technically not a remake, but let me tell you why I included it. Because it is Christopher Robin, which came out in 2018. Again, it's not a retelling of any of the original Winnie the Pooh movies. It's the closest, I would argue, adaptation we have that's kind of a live action. I don't know. I wanted to include it because I love this movie.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. And you can't beat
Ewan McGregor as Christopher Robin. You've got, I think the original voice of Pooh was in this.
Okay.
Who played him. That was amazing. So I liked it just because it was a good movie. You can make the argument that I know a lot of people complained, which I think is kind of a valid argument, that the lesson of it was like, hey, dad, you shouldn't work and you should be spending more time with your kid. But at the end of the day, I'm like, you got to work to make money. So there was a little bit of like, oh, you're making a lot of people feel bad for just that's how life is today.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you can make the argument we shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you got to work to make it in life. And so I can understand it kind of rubbed people the wrong way, the kind of the message of the film. I liked it. I think it was decent.
Yeah.
So people agreed, received a 72% tomato meter and 83% audience score. So critics was decent. People liked it more at home. Now let's get to the probably one of the lowest scoring on this list. This is Dumbo. This is another Tim Burton film.
This one's rough.
This one was rough. Again, they keep giving Tim Burton money. I don't understand why. But this came out in 2019, 45% tomato meter, 48% audience score. Not good at all. We chose to skip this one because we heard so many negative things about it.
Well, we were going to watch it, and then a bunch of our friends were like,
Don't waste your time. Just don't even waste your time.
Which that's usually not what we hear. We normally hear, just try it. And so I still to this day have no desire.
Is Danny DeVito in it? I think he is.
I think so.
He's like the ringleader or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't even know what else to say. I just heard don't waste your time. It's not very good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's better movies to watch out there.
All right, next up, let's jump over to Aladdin, which I had really high hopes for this. This came out in 2019. It had Will Smith as the genie. I'm forgetting the other two actor and actresses' names, but that was probably like the draw was the genie.
I think the controversy on that one was the guy complained after. He basically was like, if I'm remembering the actor who played Aladdin, was like ripping Hollywood because he was like, I had a breakout moment and I didn't get hired afterwards. And he was very mad about it. I don't know what his reasoning was, but he was like,
they're blaming Disney for that?
I don't know who he was blaming. I think he was just kind of old man shouts at cloud thing or whatever. But he was just like, this is so wrong. I should be hired. I should be basically like have so much work after this. I was Aladdin, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, we were not fans of this movie.
Nah.
It was, and again, we love Aladdin. Like I was so excited for this and the music. And I mean, you can't go wrong with the original Aladdin soundtrack with Robin Williams. Like it's just,
I think that's my problem was you tried to touch something that Robin Williams, who made his, I mean, come on, he's the genie.
He's the genie. No one can replace that.
No one can replace. So I just go, you guys tried something and that was not a good
Right.
I mean, Will Smith's a great actor, controversial in other ways, but
Yeah.
when it comes to acting, he's very good.
Yeah.
And if he couldn't do it justice, then I don't know, man. I think he's just not touched certain things. This was one of them.
The scores here are quite interesting to me, though. For the tomato meter, it received 57%, and the audience score was 94, which is very
Wow.
high, the highest so far on this list.
Okay, that's actually super surprising to me.
Right?
Critics, understandably, did not like it, but people at home seem to love this film.
I don't understand it.
Meh.
I mean, hey, what's fine. If you
Disagree.
loved it. All right, next up, another interesting one, The Lion King. This came out in 2019. 2019 was a gigantic live action year for Disney.
Yes,
A
they were
ton of them came out.
just coming out with them left and right. So let's talk about The Lion King. This was Jon Favreau. I do
Mhm.
that for certain. This is the man that has done The Mandalorian, Elf,
Yes.
and some other big stuff back in the day. But very skilled director, very talented guy. I like him a lot. I like his stuff. This one I think was a miss, and I don't even know if it's his fault, but like they went for again, they're calling it live action. Clearly they didn't go train a bunch of lions to speak overnight and all that stuff. So it's not live action, it is CGI, but they went for a realistic look. They went for realism. It looks like a National Geographic documentary. I'll give them that. It looks very good. It's a very pretty movie, but you had a bunch of lifeless, very real looking lions singing, and the disconnect was just, again, it's another thing where you go, don't touch it. It was one of the best. They did have
Yeah.
James Earl Jones return to voice Mufasa, but everyone else other than that was new people, right?
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Timon
Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, that was oh my gosh, Seth Rogen.
Yes. And I don't
And-
know the guy that did.
Oh,
Timon.
he's Billy Eichner. Yes, Billy on the Street.
Beyonce was in it. Donald Glover was in it.
Yeah, Childish Gambino.
Yeah. Again, nothing wrong, but it was just, I don't know. It just didn't work for me.
I didn't like it a lot. I didn't like it at all. I
Yeah.
actually put it on the other day because Maddie is in love with birds right now. We go and look out the window for birds. She calls them bubbas.
It was either Birds or Moana.
Birds or Moana. Those are the two things we're in love with right now. So we're looking out the window for birds or we're asking for Moana music.
Yes.
So we're looking at birds the other day and I go, you know what? I'm going to put on the Lion King remake
Yes.
because it looks close enough to real life that she might go like, oh, and then introduce her to the music and then we get to listen to the music at home. So I had a whole strategy, put it on. She was not into it.
No.
So anyways, I tried watching it. It's not very good. Again, you can't touch things like the original Lion King. You just can't.
Yeah.
So-
For the tomato meter score, it received a 52% and the audience score was 88%, which that's a pretty good score from audience.
People liked it.
Yes.
It did very well in the box office.
I think
so
did your brother love it though when we all went?
he did.
Yeah. So I mean, again, it's
Yeah.
totally
It's up to you.
totally up to your discretion.
Next up is Lady and the Tramp. This was actually a movie they used to launch Disney Plus. So this was one of the
Oh, wow,
first
really?
Disney Plus originals
Okay.
For the service. So this was Lady and the Tramp in 2019. We did not see this film because again,
Mm-mm.
we have heard just don't waste your time. It's just one of those where people didn't like it that much
Mhm.
and you could use your time better.
Yeah,
so
so we won't say too much about
I
it.
don't want to share too much. 66% for tomato meter. So the critics were like, meh. And then people at home disliked it. 50% for the audience score.
So 2% higher for Dumbo, or 2% above Dumbo's. I mean, that says something.
It's slightly better than Dumbo.
Right?
Let's move on to Mulan. This was a very controversial movie. This came out in
Yes.
2020. The actress said some stuff about, there was some like geopolitical stuff going on between China and like, I think maybe it was Hong Kong or something, which is like part of China technically, but not. So I don't know. There was some serious stuff going on in the world. Also the pandemic. And she said some things that were pro one of the sides. I don't remember what it was,
Mhm.
but Disney had to distance themselves from her
Yeah.
because they were like, oh, it's not the views of the company,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. She's speaking on her own. So this was right before it came out or, during the press junket and it just didn't go well. People didn't go to see it because of it. It didn't do very well, I don't think, in theaters and people didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
You saw it.
I did see it. So it was one of those where because again, Mulan is another movie that I'm obsessed with. I'm trying to describe, I wouldn't say it was great, but I wouldn't say it was horrible. It's definitely not one of those movies where I'm like, I'm going to watch it again. I think it was a one and done.
Yeah, you
for
watched it
me.
on a plane, I think.
Yeah. It kind of starts off a little different. Again, I would say it's nowhere near what the original one was like. They incorporated so many different elements and characters and just different things. But I've heard people literally say this is one of the worst movies that Disney's ever done. I don't really agree with that. I think if you haven't seen it and you literally can't find one thing to watch, try it out, but don't expect anything like amazing from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
So,
so. If
meh.
you love Mulan, try it. If you're kind of like, then I
I
won't
think
waste your time.
people agreed. 72% tomato meter and 47% audience score. So a big meh on this one.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Pinocchio. This is the most impressive, and by most impressive, I mean collectively the worst rated movie on this list. This was with Tom Hanks, the man himself. This came out in 2022. Had higher hopes. I don't know if high hopes is the right word. And this was also confusing because they had another Pinocchio movie come out in the same year on Netflix.
And it was like
Benicio del Toro.
It was like a spookier one, right?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I think it was more adult retelling.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one, but it was kind of confusing because both came out in very similar times. And so people hated this movie.
I know we watched it. I don't remember it.
We saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
It was bad.
That was a bummer.
Tom Hanks, man, as Geppetto.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Yes, I remember that.
It was not good. It was not a good movie. So this one, I'll just flat out say not good, not worth your time. Don't waste your time if you haven't seen it. 27% for the critics, 29% audience score. They agreed. Not a great movie.
Yikes. It's not as bad as this next one, though.
Okay.
For audience score. Yeah.
Peter Pan and Wendy. I don't even know what this movie is, to be honest with you.
Yikes.
Do you know what this is?
Yeah. Remember, we almost watched it.
Really?
We literally almost watched it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this came out in 2023.
You will probably recognize, I'll show you not the movie poster, but what is it called? I
don't know.
Like the
preview thing.
The preview
image.
cover art image. Yeah. You'll recognize that.
Okay.
Like with the ship that they use and everything for Hook.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing anything about this.
Yeah.
People did not like this movie. Critics liked it, 64%, or thought it was decent. The audience score was 12%.
Yikes.
By far the lowest score for the audience. So not very well received. If you like this at home, don't let it deter you from watching it. You do you. But people did not like Peter Pan and Wendy.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, Peter Pan.
All right. Last up, we have The Little Mermaid that came out in 2023. This came out so long ago. I feel like it was last year.
Well, technically, it kind of, it's 25, right?
Yeah.
We're in January. So just a week ago, it was last year.
Oh, that's true.
So one of those weird things.
That's true.
So this one we tried to watch. Now, let me explain a little bit. We tried watching this and I couldn't get into it. I don't know what it was.
I think we were just too in love with the first one, like the OG one.
And another complaint I had, and a lot of people complain online, was and this is so silly. If you don't care about these things, don't care about them. I don't blame you. Like the color grading, it was so flat and so gray. It didn't look, and I know they're going for realism, right? That's what it looks like deep underwater. I understand that. But the first one's so colorful and fun and vibrant, and the fish look like bright fish. I don't know. It just looked so like dull and boring. Like bleh.
I will say that Ariel's voice was
She has an amazing voice.
So pretty. Like we loved all the characters. Like that was awesome.
And I love Javier Bardem.
I
love Javier Bardem. So
it was overall great.
Yes, and she has a very good singing voice, and she did very well with the music. I've listened to a few of them outside of the movie, and I like them. But Awkwafina as this random bird character. It was weird. And then actually we were with our friends and they showed us a clip of it. And I literally was like, I'm not going to finish the movie. It looked so bad and silly. It was some rap thing in the middle. So.
Oh my gosh, I totally remember watching that. Yeah.
We were eating ice cream or something. So it just looks so bizarro. Maybe we're missing. Let us know. If we're missing out, we'll sit back down and watch it again.
Well, because we have friends and family that were literally like, I've seen the movie like 10 times. Yes. I loved it. And like we had friends who took their little ones to go see it in the theaters multiple times.
So maybe, and I think we're wrong on this one because the audience score was 94%. So people love this movie.
Yeah.
I just maybe was not in the right mood or headspace to watch it. So we'll give it another shot. The critics gave it a 67%. So decent movie. So maybe we're wrong. Yeah. You got to try it again.
Now, exciting things to look forward to. Hopefully, Disney has some new ones coming out.
What does hopefully mean?
Hoping that they're good, but I don't know. With all the criticism right now and just controversy on Snow White coming out soon. When does that come out? This year, right?
That comes out in 2025, like the spring. They've pushed it a couple times. And
Moana, the live action.
Yes, Moana live action.
I literally can't wait. And then, of course, Stitch is coming out. Is it Lilo and Stitch or just Stitch?
I don't know. Lilo and Stitch, I think. So
that I'm looking forward to because
that
big
one
Stitch fan.
Doesn't look good to me, to be honest. It looks okay. I don't know. He looks a little weird to me.
I feel like you can't really judge it yet because you've just seen his body.
You're right. Absolutely right. I just have a weird feeling about that one. Snow White, I think, even if it is a decent movie, I don't know if it's going to do well because it's gotten so much hate online and so much stuff. Yeah. So I don't know how that will do.
I am literally, I'm so excited for Moana, and everyone's like, why?
No.
Oh, I'm so excited.
No.
Again, I'm so happy right now that Maddie is like obsessed with Moana. It's one of my favorite movies. We've watched it I don't know how many times.
I think my problem is Moana 2 just came out. It's still in
That's-
theaters. And now they're coming out with a live action this in 25?
Is it 25 or is it 26?
I don't know.
Don't
I just
quote
think
us on
it's
the
too
time.
soon. It's too soon.
I think overall with this list, like what it's taught me is I get that they're trying to make money and that they're doing the remakes. Sometimes they're hits, sometimes they're misses. I think overall they're not to our liking.
They're
I would
just-
say for us.
Yes, and I think people, you're right. To us, we don't love them. And even the audience out there, it's just, I think like if you gave them an average rating, it'd be like a C or a B minus.
Yeah.
And I go, maybe that's their goal right now, or their strategy is release decent movies, but make a killing on them. And that's the grade of success. I don't know if that's...
I'm looking more for like, give me a Monsters Inc. and a Monsters University. Like, give me a
live action, or just you're just saying
doesn't need to be a live action. Like,
Okay.
just do another storyline. Like,
oh yeah,
Inside Out and Inside Out 2. Yes, they're following each other. They're not remakes, but I'm like, do more of that. Like, do sequels, do prequels.
you do like sequels. See, people are arguing that they don't want to see
I
more
think-
sequels and prequels.
Well, I think again, I'd rather them come out with new content, right? Like the Out of My Mind movie
Original
we just watched.
stuff, yeah.
That was great. However, I do feel like Disney does do better with the prequels and sequels versus the live actions. Like I feel like we
Absolutely.
do like those more.
Yes.
So overall, I'm just kind of like, you guys are like one of the best. Like, come on.
Yes, let's return to
There's
greatness.
there's no excuse.
Let's return to greatness, Disney. Again, we're not in filmmaking. We're just kind of talking here.
Defy gravity, okay?
Defy gravity. In 2025, everyone should defy gravity. Okay, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us over on Instagram and Threads at Market House Podcast. Make sure to follow us over there for pictures from the park and exciting news and announcements. We're going to the park soon, folks. A week away. So follow us over there if you want to see pictures from the park and us doing some crazy things. Consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Both are a huge help to the show. Patreon, if you want to hear us talk some more, markethousepodcast.com/support is where you can find information on that. Remember to use your Getaway Today link for your future trip booking. Save some money this summer at Walt Disney World. Check out the episode details for that link and use code MarketHouse10 to save an additional $10 on your vacation. It's been fun. It's been grand. It's been filled with Lilo and Stitch and Moana's boats in Maui. Bye!